So on a systems level, I began to think about the own areas in my life where I could start being a part of that change, with radical responsibility as my foundation always. I worked on my relationship with myself, cultivating then spaces between people. I started moving groups to fuel community and small systems. And finally, I'm wondering how we engage society to work on itself. I began with me, which is where we should always begin. I had to work through experiences in my life that were so hard on me, they have soaked into the fabric of who I am. This was also really negatively affecting others around me, making a chance or an opportunity to build a family almost impossible. It became clear I had to deal with all of this shit, no matter who put it there. If I couldn't transform this pain, then ideas, solutions, important conversations, opportunities for change would end with me and my lack of self-awareness. The cycle continues. I especially needed to do this if I wanted to lead that change and if I wanted to fix some of these challenges within my lifetime. Here, I practice noticing when I am the problem. Once I became aware of how I affected others, I could then trust myself to bring people together. I had a hard time finding change happening around me. And so instead, I figured I would create at least the conditions for change. I found empty rooms, playgrounds, shady trees, boardrooms, and I brought people together so they could talk about life without excuses and opinions in the room. I figured out how to help people share honestly, and I helped others learn how to deeply listen. This is where radical collaboration started to enter my life. It was such a hard stretch to cultivate the habit of radical responsibility, which kept me safe, to the new habit the new habit of radical collaboration, that I not only needed others, but I needed to trust them. It's terrifying. I learned there that collaboration has very little to do with sitting in a circle. What matters is what you do with that circle. What matters is the spaces in between the people. That is the system. We are the system. So here I practice the courage to invite people in as often as I can, ensuring that when they get there, the conditions will definitely be different. As I grew as a leader, I began to struggle with and experiment with increasing complexity and adding way more people to these tables. I chose to step into organizations that were small but brave in redesigning what quality program actually looks like, alongside organizations smart enough to care about their internal culture and the people who work for them as much as their external impact. They are deeply correlated. This is where I began to master the use of human-centered design. It's a buzzword, but it means radically collaborative problem solving. And it needs diversity to thrive. Working with people started to become less terrifying for me. What I discovered is that when you invite people in, people come. People care, and they care for the right reasons. Committed board members, janitors, cross-sector funders, strangers, homeless guys who have now become my good friends, people who are looking to find meaning outside of their jobs, they all came. And if I can maintain the conditions for change, the outcomes every time are far more powerful. Here I practice guiding people and moving them through the intensely hard work of collaboration. So my frustration for the community development sector started to eat me alive. And so did never allowing myself a break from the violence. As soon as I transitioned out of the foster care system, I started working with youth who were being abused. So I needed a break. And I started over again, making a huge leap to becoming an entrepreneur with some amazing people, with my eyes set on building more meaningful social impact and maybe even faster social impact. Our social for-profit company works outside of traditional systems on purpose so that we can pull all sectors together without the rules that hold many of us in this room back. Here I practice making grounded decisions for everyone. I decide who to work with, and I decide who I'm not working with anymore, people that abuse their power. I practice finding the entrepreneurs, or as my team calls them, the moles, inside of highly bureaucratic organizations and watch them create change in small but incredibly significant ways. So all these levels, all these circles are areas that I constantly revisit and work on. And if it's okay with you, I want to give us a moment to reflect on how you're doing in these circles. And I want you to think about not the success, but here in this space, I want you to think about where are you struggling? Because I'm a human, I know we're always really hard on ourselves. But don't be hard on yourself. Growth is not linear. Some of us need to go back and think about the things that have shaped us, whether you were in the foster care system or not. And others are ready to step up and grab courage and catalyze change on way different levels. You might think that one level here, one circle is more complex than another, but the reality is they're all insanely complex. There is no mastery. There's only practice. Start over every day.